Hi, everybody. Welcome to a finale interview with the founders who have just finished up the first batch of the Paralect Startup Bootcamp. And I'm here today with Sam Cholera from PT Fitness Coach. Sam, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. Thank you, John.
Fantastic. And so yesterday you had your pitch along with the other founders. How do you think it went?
I'm always quite hard on myself, so I'm never one, just come out saying it's gone brilliantly. Ultimately, I suppose if it does go brilliantly, there's no room for growth. So I take that side always. There's always room for improvement. It went okay. I had prepared for the pitch. There was a slight mix-up with a link beforehand, but again, that's what it is. So yeah, there was the questions were difficult, which again is good because it pushes me into a place that I haven't been before, which is again another area for growth. So yeah, 50-50.
Awesome. All right. Well, room for improvement is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. So the boot camp has been 4 weeks long. You guys have all worked quite hard to gain traction for your startup, and in your case, for PT Fitness Coach. So looking back on this time, what areas would you say you made the most progress during the 4 weeks? And let's start with the startup idea itself with PT Fitness Coach.
It's given me a chance to really focus on the MVP and where that needs to be niched down to, which was really good. Having a lot of interviews, I had the pleasure of speaking to over 200 personal trainers, whether that was via DM or via a short call, or I actually went out to a lot of gyms and was speaking to them face to face. Different environments, whether that's over a Skype call, said obviously via a phone screen or face to face. So and different times that I could speak to them. Some may have been that 30-second conversation, 2-second conversation by DM, or it may have been lucky enough to have a 10-minute conversation face to face. So the information I could get from them and depending on the environment they were in was a lot different. So being able to niche down for the MVP idea really has helped. Also, while I was on that element and the MVP side, really did help me during the pitch. The team at Paralect, obviously, very experienced people, so then they were able to really grill me on the questions, but ultimately that taught me a lot in that half hour, 20-minute talk that I was with them. The waiting list I've been able to grow over 30 days, got a lot further than I expected with that. I thought maybe 20 or 30, maybe 40 PTs may like the idea once I put it to them. That actually went over to 180. So I was really pleased with that.
Awesome.
And I was able to sign some brands, a couple of international brands as well. So that was really good for me.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And we'll get into sort of what the MVP might look like a little bit later. But so what progress have you made as a founder then during these 4 weeks?
I suppose the area that I have made progress as a founder is really being able to decide what is going to move the needle at any one point. So I am quite good at planning, or generally having an idea of what I wanted to do. One thing that I set myself as a goal was every night, depending on what I've done the previous day, that night making a plan for the next day. So that I was definitely able to advance on. Building in public really did make a difference, I found, making yourself even more accountable, not just to myself, which is what I find the most important, but to the Paralect team and the wider community via Twitter. I chose it as my medium to put out there what my plan was for the day and try and stick to that daily.
Yeah, and I've been following your progress on Twitter. You've got a lot of really high profile followers in just a few weeks. So kudos on that. You've done a great job there.
Thank you very much.
So you said you've talked to over 200 PTs. What were some feedback that you got from them that will inform what the product might look like?
So, I mean, if you can imagine, obviously, everyone is different. Everyone's got a whole set of problems. So there was a lot of variables in there. Generally, I found that the trend for personal trainers wanting to grow their business, and when I was then broaching, how do you see that happening in the next week, month, 6 months? A lot of the answers were don't know, but the overriding factor that I found from personal trainers and wanting to grow the business, or the idea of how they're going to do that, was going from a face-to-face environment to taking that online. And I always used to just, put it back to them that you've only got a certain captive audience around the gym that you actually work in, but online you could be talking to somebody right around the world and helping them in their journey. So being able to take their face-to-face business online and becoming more professional in terms of more organized, being able to have everything in one place, which and after the pitch as well, have now really got that down to probably the first thing that they need is a CRM, or able to control everything, their client data, and even a way of maybe contacting them via that. So a communication tool.
Very interesting. So you've mentioned a few times, and in the first interview, you also said that you don't want to make PT fitness coach for everyone because then it won't be perfect for anybody. So who have you decided to target as your first sort of narrow niche?
Personal trainers that want to become more organized, that want to have everything accessible to them. At the moment, they're using a whole wide variety of different solutions to do this, and being able to help them organize themselves in a way where they can then provide the best service for their clients. The more time that I can save them, the more that time they can then allocate to clients.
Right on. All right, you mentioned the traction that you gained in the 4 weeks. The sign-up numbers were very good. So were there any other metrics that you looked at to say, I have achieved the traction that I could have, or I didn't achieve my goals in terms of traction?
I actually surpassed what I thought I was going to get. I didn't actually have any idea of it. I said I was hoping for 20 to 40 sign-ups, and I thought that would be good. I didn't realise, over time, you realise that sales pitch is not a nice way to put it, but the way you communicate to your idea over to the personal trainers actually gets much more concise. I'd worked in retail before, and I've had businesses in retail, which really allows you to work people out quite quickly and find out what their pain points are. So being able to tailor my solution and put it in a story form for them, and how they can envisage it would change their life and make their business more profitable and create a quicker journey for their clients. I was able to do that quite well, and that just got better over time. The referrals that I got from personal trainer to personal trainer was actually quite surprising. I didn't think I'd get that many, but again, really surprised. I said 180 on the waiting list, 180 plus. I'm just overwhelmed with that, and just thank everyone for believing in what I'm trying to put together.
Yeah, it's a great story, and definitely the retail sales and sales help or experience really helps you sort of hone down your messaging very well. So if you could go back in time to the start of the boot camp, would you have done anything differently over these 4 weeks?
Yeah, I suppose just improve on everything, and it's what with hindsight is a lot different. You know what actually makes a big difference towards the end. Although I was using omni-channel marketing right away across social media, I may have actually honed in on one particular one or the other. I wanted to go through Twitter because it was a medium that I hadn't really used for PT Fitness Coach prior to that, and obviously that was an element that was going to help Paralect. But I think for me, if I had actually concentrated a bit more on Instagram, I think I would have got quite a few more signups than I did.
All right, that makes sense. And you've mentioned a few times sort of a clear vision of the product itself. So could you lay that out for us? Are you thinking about an app, a web platform? What will it look like?
An app over a web platform. The website, there are going to be PTs that I would like to use a web at some point via a laptop or a larger screen device. But ultimately, it's a a device in your pocket that is going to make a difference for me. That's the way they communicate with their clients currently. It's how they've been used to using that. So definitely a web, also definitely an app-based platform.
All right. And this batch was, of course, batch one for the Startup Bootcamp. So it was very much a work in progress, and we're going to do another batch very soon. So what feedback do you have for us here at the team at Paralect for batch two? Anything we can improve?
I'd say create a cheat sheet for founders to help them get the most out of the bootcamp. That would be the only thing I could say in terms of that I found that would help, whatever that might be, and whatever you feel within Paralect has actually been harder to take control of. In terms of founders, I would urge any founder who is even thinking of applying to definitely apply. If you could get in onto the Paralect Bootcamp and work with the team in-house that just have an answer for everything that you may actually need to ask, I'd really urge you to do so.
All right, that's great to hear, and good idea with the cheat sheet. And we'll see what we can do. What was your favorite workshop or webinar, and why?
I'm just trying to think of the actual names of them, so I don't get one of those wrong. It was actually the one that I missed, funnily enough. Well, I don't mean that in a funny way. I enjoyed it because I missed it. You were kind enough with all of the webinars to make sure they went into Notion so we could actually review them at our leisure afterwards, which I did with all of the webinars. But the one that I missed, which was actually about bringing more how you can trying to think exactly what trying to think of the wording and what it was. How you can bring new customers, grow the waiting list. I think it was the fourth webinar in the series. So yeah, name escapes me, but the one that I missed, which is enhance your marketing ploy, that was the one that was really good.
Okay, super. And just to wrap up, what does success for you and PT Fitness Coach look like in 3 to 6 months?
A monetized MVP in a nutshell. The reason why I'm bringing brands on board from the outset is we'll be earning an affiliate fee from them. Once I've got a certain amount of founding personal trainers on board, I'll be starting to create a subscription model for them. So definitely a monetized MVP for me.
All right. And last question, we'll wrap up with going back to the pitch that you gave yesterday. So how would you like to improve that if and when you decide to pitch in front of investors in the future?
Rookie mistake, really. I should have anticipated. I was practicing the pitch over and over and over again, which I felt went okay. I think I should have really sat down to think about what they're going to ask and make sure I had the right answers for those questions. So for me personally, that's something that I'll need to look at from tomorrow and day after for the next pitch I do. Again, like I said, there's always room for growth, and that I'm always happy with. Anyone who says that they got it perfect, that there's no room for growth, then you've probably already got the solution. You don't need to be in the boot camp.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Sam. And I really look forward to catching up with you in 10 months or a year and a half in the future and seeing what you've grown PT Fitness Coach into. I'm going to follow your journey. I'll leave links in the show notes for everybody to sign up on the wait list or follow you on Twitter as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, John.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.